takes pride in delivering the quality of care we all deserve.
In communication, connectivity is everything. We ensure that the links never sleep. Quantities and qualities, all in our data service, providing efficient, reliable voice and data service. We believe if you're not up to speed, then you're going backwards. Communications have to flow as fast as the speed of light. Whatever business you're in, having someone who understands your needs is critical. That is why we just don't offer you technology, we offer you solutions. Enjoy Gamcel's internet broadband anytime, anywhere. Your national operator, Gamcel, Yaibaram.
Alright.
Honey, did you remind him that the last time he sent the money, it was not enough to buy all the provisions?
Oh, sorry, I forgot to tell him.
Are you guys talking about money transfer to buy provisions?
Yes.
But don't you know about Baluwo?
Baluwo? What is Baluwo?
Baluwo is a service that your son can use to send provisions directly to you guys from the shop. And you don't have to worry about the exchange rate.
Tell me how Baluwo works.
It's very simple.
Just log on to baluwo.com and shop, or download the app on your phone. You can shop on the website or using the app to buy online basic products for your family and friends. With Baluwo, you decide what your money is spent on. Your money, your choice. Buy online products for your family and friends in the Gambia, Senegal, Nigeria or Mali. Baluwo, better than sending money.
Are you thinking of owning your dream homes? EJ Investment is here for you. Secure our quality bungalows with 2, 3 or 4 bedrooms, or our story buildings 3 or 4 to 5 bedrooms at very affordable prices with flexible payment plans at our Sanyang Seaview Estate, where you can enjoy the cool breeze with modern infrastructure such as tar roads, covered drainage system, modern electrification with street lights, gated entrance with security posts, and social amenities such as gas station, shopping mall, medical clinic, park, schools, children daycare, and a lot more. Our dedicated team of professionals will keep the estate clean at all times, provide security and patrol team within the estate premises, install latest technologies such as CCTV, Wi-Fi, home network installation, solar panel, and power backup system. Also, check out for our additional home facilities and interior design service such as premium tiling, wall plaster, home landscape, fingerprint home lock, and a lot more. Visit our office at Senegambia Kololi Highway and get a free site visit tour, or contact us on 4464838. WhatsApp us on 3259220. Or you can visit our Facebook page or Instagram on EJ Investments. EJ Investments, we are first in properties.
Agada
ke mbijan aganya
albaka
mbaka important
yo nga transfer la sto
ya transfer la
ha code nyinji
okay code sana nsila id soto
ha sa soto sorry Agada.
Bijan bro.
Alba.
Mbaka.
Bara Allah service o tariya. Mbare ki janna nun kunu bara tariya.
Jannom yona forest de bureau. Gambia tonkon na no mbari ya bere. Birin koy na fo kato.
Bari si kodo kino kato ni fo bolong labe to.
56 branches mola sota Gambia ja. Gambia kono ani Gambia bantala bankol. Nka kodo kiya bere. Kodo sifa fo falindiro fo nyaadi lafta même na kodi to poto nin kodi maro jannom number 1 di nyonta andum fana nata anoda enterprise sotale wolam nyindi ko domorol fana kol fana be firale de dadi mani domorol di fana beteat Gambia dawda yalo ngam fa kendol sotale di
wo moyo diat
apelenta
barka ni lafta nyelan kendol e binaji
yalo bu kanila ko la barka ba
yalo ndel ciosano lo
barka.
We live in a day and age where technology is creating a world without borders, filled with unlimited potential to improve the lives of the people around us. Innovarex Global Health ushers in a new way of leveling the playing field with increased access to quality healthcare services delivered at your doorstep.
Council, if we're ready to resume, please proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. The witness is being brought in at the moment.
Thank you.
Welcome back, Mr. Sambou. Before the break, you are looking at your documents to see whether you can give us a flavor, an example of some of the things Yaya Jammeh would write.
Balanjom na pale ko don set ci sa bir kayiti ndax diñ ci mëna gis dara lo xamne diñ ñu ko mëna won ci mbir yo xamne Yaya Jammeh daan ko bind ci ron kayiti ngeen ko daan yob.
Go ahead, please.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Lead counsel, I want to show you an example of what you are asking. The language President Jammeh used, former President Jammeh used to address some of us. Here is a minute that the Principal Assistant Secretary at the time sent through me to His Excellency. Principal Secretary minute and in reply he also wrote a minute. Despite the fact that he approved of what we requested to him, from him, he said, he wrote to me, PS, if you present any minute with such type to me, so you will regret it. So indeed, minute then he wrote NB, ST, stroke PS.
Hello. Let's go back let's take it back again and have a better interpretation.
Okay. Then he said, if you present any minute with such to me, so you will regret it. So bindate minute melni comme ci anam gi dang ko reccu
comme bo ma bindalate xibaar yu melni ding ko reccu.
Then he wrote NB SG stroke PS, send her home. In fact,
because this is unacceptable. Full stop. Fire her as an example to others, not like her.
Pinana NB muneko mu yobuko mu nagene ko dakko comme ni ñeneen.
These minutes I secretly photocopied.
Minutes yi nak dama ko photocopy ci secret.
I wanted to write a memoir or something, or maybe an occasion like this would come. And if you explain to people, they will believe. And here's a photostat copy of one of these with such language written to me for other staff. This was a lady who was suckling, and I passed her the file to write the minute, and she sent it through me, and it went. He couldn't accept it.
Dina jigen la jo xamne ni jamono joju mu ngay nampal ci la bind nak di mu daldi ko jaarale ko ci mom.
Please let me take a quick look. From this document, are you able to tell what was Yaya Jammeh's concern?
Ci kayit bii nii ndax dañ ci mën a wax Yaya Jammeh moom lan la ci jublu woon.
Lan la ko ci métti woon ba tax mu wax ju métti ji le.
I don't really remember because it's a long time. Probably it could have been the language.
Well, she is here that Your Excellency's kind attention is being drawn to folio 30 and minutes 27 and 28 on file in relation to search and rescue exercise. Mattered Ensign Kana Konili. I don't know what Mattered Ensign Kana Konili means. Maybe Kana Konili is not English. Maybe it's either an acronym or just a name that is given to the search and rescue operation. But take a look at it again. Maybe you can find, decipher the problem Jammeh had with this. Just a moment, Mr. Chair, I'll send it to you.
Go ahead, yes. But while he's doing that, probably can help us with context as well. The commissioners can see the document later on.
Thank you.
But if you can provide context.
A bit of context and just a bit of background and then...
Precisely.
This was supposed to have been a search and rescue exercise. With partner security services. I think this was a civil defense. It had to deal with the fire service and the military together. And the military are being asked to nominate 1 or 2 candidates. So he was being requested to, you give in 2 or 3 names and he chooses from them. That's why he said any one of these above officers can go. CDS to call on the above.
So he was not satisfied perhaps with the manner in which or the language in which the minute was written.
I should think so, yes. I remember.
But of course, you know that to write, like the person's ability to write, to a considerable extent, depends on the person's education or level of education.
She was a PAS at the time.
PAS now,
Assistant Secretary.
Principal Assistant Secretary.
But you would agree that the person's ability to write to a considerable extent would depend on the person's level of education.
Indeed.
Well, and would it be fair to say that Yaya Jammeh expected a very high level of writing and reading skills?
Yaya Jammeh mun sentu nak yenen anam yi façon yi bindin yo xamne yu kowe la yo xamne ci anam yu for la doon ñu ko mëna bindé ak nañ ko jàng.
That is what he expected in this minute.
Loolu la doon sentu ci xibaar yi bindani.
This was a very simple minute.
Minute bu simple bu yomb la won.
So it didn't implicate any detailed issues as PS or DPS. We don't want to involve a PS to write any complicated minute, a few lines.
Well, we are talking about Yaya Jammeh's expectations. You told us that when you write something, he would check your commas, your punctuation, and all that. So he expected a high standard.
Yes, indeed.
Well,
ñu ngi wax li nga xamne mom la Yaya Jammeh doon sentu parce que ci gannaaw tuuti wax nga fi ne boko bindale dara dina seet anam yi ko bindé fa nga dalé fa nga ékaté xet na mom tam yu mel nonu la doon sentu ci xibaar yoy ñu bindoon
mu doon sentu mu na binda bu kowe ci ñi liggéey ci nguur gi
lu amna
that's what up
lu amna
but the fact of the matter is, isn't that really foolish, considering the fact that the recruitment policy of government at the time signaled the very opposite?
ndax loolu du doon mbir moo xam ne nag lu doy waar la ndaxte soo ko seetloo
lu ñàkk a fula la lu ñàkk a solo
li nga xam ne noonu leen daan jëlee liggéeykat yi ci anam boobu dafa ute ak façon bii nii.
Council could have been right, you know.
Well, mun naa nekk dëgg nag.
Could have been right or council is right?
Mun naa nekk dëgg wala council dëgg la.
All right, council is right.
Waaw kon dëgg la.
Well, it has to be about the content, really, of the proposition. Let's take a look at the NIA. That would take us to the next topic we wanted to discuss. That is the recruitment policy of the NIA.
léegi nañ seet ci mbiri NIA loolu dinañu mën a yóbbu ba ci beneen fànn bi nga xam ne moom lañ bëgg a waxtaanee mooy ni nga xam ne noonu la ñu jëlee liggéey ay nit ci NIA.
A lot of the NIA officers, senior NIA officers, including directors general, had no qualification higher than secondary 4.
ñi nga xam ne ñoo nekk ci NIA bokk na sax ñi nga xam ne nekk nañ directeur général jiite NIA yëpp seen maxaama ci seen wàlli njàng weesuwul fi ñoo secondary 4.
Agreed.
nangu naa.
Isn't that a tragedy?
It was worse than a tragedy.
Maybe you have better words to describe it.
xëy na am na yeneen anam yoo ko mën a waxee.
Well, this is something I found there. And sometimes officers are sent over to the NIA for enlistment from the State House.
State House.
Allow for the interpretation to complete.
Sorry. Sometimes they are moved from the police or the military.
With
orders.
NIA is the institution we have seen where the security guards are promoted all the way to director.
NIA rek mooy liggéeykaay boo xam ne ñi nga xam ne ay security guard la ñiy garde sax dinañ jël yokk seen maxaama ba mu kowe ba toll ci place directeur.
That was not during my time.
loolu nag du ci suma jamono.
It used to happen.
waaye daan na
It has happened.
am na.
But this is supposed to be an intelligence institution.
lii dafa war a nekk liggéeykaay boo xam ne ay ñu xerañ la war a doon.
This is supposed to be at the heart of government.
lii dafa war a nekk loo xam ne mu ngi ci diggi xoli nguur gi.
Doing some of the most sensitive intellectual work for the government.
ñoo xam ne ñoom ñooy def liggéey boo xam ne liggéey bu jar a bàyyi xel la ci nguur gi.
jig liggéey xam-xam bu rëy pour nguur gi. wherein information is gathered in the most unconventional ways and analyzed, and out of which policy decisions are taken to advance the government. Isn't it that's what it's supposed to do?
It is.
li ma wax mooy ne liggéey la boo xam ne ay xibaar yu bari la ñuy dajale yoo xam ne niñ koo dajalee utee naag comme ni nga dajalee xibaar ci ay jéego yu doy waar la ñuy jël pour dajale xibaar yooyu ñu war koo tojaat ko pour génnee si ay xameel yoo xam ne mooy tax nguur gi jël matuwaay yi mu war a jël loolu doon lu war a doy waar loolu liggéey borom xam-xam la. Do you agree with that?
I do. Namuna.
But look at the NIA. A lot of the people who were recruited into the service had no more than secondary 4 certificates.
Why settle NIA nag ñi ci ëpp yëpp ñi daan jël liggéey foofu amul maxaama bu weesu secondary school certificate.
That is true.
loolu dëgg la.
Isn't that a terrible disappointment?
loolu nag nekkul mbir moo xam ne doy waar.
It was when I first took over in
March
2006.
Very March 2006.
I met a new batch of recruits that were just enlisted. The Marina. They had not even undergone the simplest of training, which is the tradecraft. About 150. And I embarked on an institutional reform. But I couldn't complete it.
Why?
Events of the 2006 coup overtook that exercise. And I was eventually removed before I completed the job. What is exactly what lead counsel said.
Why not more lead counsel?
I mean, isn't it counterintuitive to recruit people who had no significant qualification, yet you expect the highest level of performance from them?
ndax lii amul jaamaaroo boo xam ne mu ngi ci nga jël nit liggéey koo xam ne xam-xamam dafa néew nga séntu nag mu def liggéey boo xam ne borom xam-xam yu kowe ñoo ko war a def.
To a certain degree,
yenn maqam yi
it was more or less like a dumping ground.
dafa mel ni rek bërëb la boo xam ne nii tuureekaay la.
But the NIA was, yes, okay, dumping ground from other institutions. But the foreign affairs was even worse because the NIA people were dumped into foreign affairs afterwards.
Waa dëgg la NIA moom béréb la comme mbalit la woon rek dañoo gëjëlee nit fële rek ñoo sànni la fa waaye nag bunta bi saytu woon diggante réew mi bitim réew ñoo gënoon nag bon sax ndaxte ñoom itamit dañ daan jëlee ay nit NIA rek sànni leen fa.
True or false?
Indeed.
Dëgg la.
True?
True.
Dëgg la.
I have seen a statement yesterday of someone who had only secondary 4 certificate. Grew to be senior officer at NIA. And moved to Morocco or Taiwan as counselor and head of mission.
I
know. What would you say to that?
Successive DGs, picked up their boys, then you just and relatives, and sent them to foreign affairs. For eventual posting as a NIA liaison officer in the embassy. There's a provision to post an NIA officer in most of the embassies. And the budgetary allocations are independent from that of foreign affairs. Drawn from the NIA's budget. So this is why they send their people. They rise up, and when you go, you send somebody to an embassy. Our embassies most of the time are understaffed. At the end of the day, the liaison officer is the one who is left there. Rather than post somebody new from foreign affairs, Banjul, foreign affairs, a liaison officer is just automatically elevated. So
in a sense, the position of a trained diplomat who under the general orders must have a minimum qualification of bachelor's degree is now given to a secondary 4 holder from the NIA.
The irony here is, lead counsel, I won't hide it. I've seen it. You send a liaison officer to Senegal. Like you said, he is a secondary 4 graduate. Doesn't even have a command of the English language, let alone French. Sometimes he's not good in English, in Wolof. And you post him to Senegal. What do you expect of that guy? And invariably, even whereas the DG who posted him there has been changed, you can't touch him.
Why is that?
I don't know. Various.
Of course, Mr. Sambou, you do.
It hasn't happened in
don't time. You cannot hide behind I don't know. Call a spade and speak it out.
We are coming. I won't hide. You can be rest assured, lead counsel.
Thank you. See, call it as it is. Why can't such people be touched?
The affinities.
What affinities?
Sometimes.
These things are not in the abstract.
Sometimes family.
Family, yes.
You just mentioned tribe.
Tribe? No, I didn't mention.
No, not yet. In your introduction to the issues to be discussed.
Yeah. Okay, yes. Tribe.
That's an inference to that. And sometimes friendship. But then with the frequent changes in leadership in the NIA, nothing was permanent. And so deployments, transfers, and so on, ended up jumbled up. There was real need for institutional reform in that place. But then with the interference from above,
all these changes would not have happened without Jammeh's knowledge. He must have given tacit or expressed approval.
Lead counsel. A witness here from the NIA said the NIA was under the office of the president. The NIA was Yaya Jammeh's baby. Nothing happened inside the NIA.
I think you are putting it nicely. That was Yaya Jammeh's tool. It was his tool, would you agree?
Of course.
Wow. In fact, from day one, it was his tool to perpetrate the worst human rights violations against Gambians. Could you answer now?
Yes.
Wow. You agree with that?
Of course I agree.
And let's talk about when you first entered the NIA and the violations that happened very early on. Of course, we take cognizance of the fact that the NSS moved into the NIA. And at the outset, you were director of administration and finance, isn't it?
Director of administration and finance.
Yes. Even from that early on, the NIA was used as an institution to torture people in order to get what Yaya Jammeh wanted.
NIA dañ ko jëloon rek def ko jumtuwaay boo xam ne dañu mbugal nit ñi di leen mitital pour am rek ci ñoom li nga xam ne moom la Yaya Jammeh soxla ci ñoom.
True or false?
Dëgg la wala déet?
Dëgg la. The thing is, this is being video recorded and aired. If you answer out of turn, your answer would not be captured because the camera would be focused on somebody else.
I'm sorry.
So I'll put the question again. Even at the outset, the early 90s or mid-90s, Yaya Jammeh used the NIA as a tool to get what he wanted. It was used as an institution to torture Gambians to get whatever it is that he wanted. Is that true or is it false?
Wow. May I comment? May I elucidate?
Please go ahead.
Lead counsel, the primary function of an intelligence gathering institution,
lead counsel,
intelligence institution, is to gather intelligence. Look into threats against the state. If you look at other institutions in the neighboring countries or the US or UK,
so certain United States UK,
you will find out that they have adequate independence. But in the case of the Gambia and the NIA, what French will call instrumentalisation, the use, like you said, as a tool, the institution. It occurs. Let's make a comparison between the NSS and the NIA. I served in the NSS. We strictly gathered intelligence and sent it to the head of state. And he passed on the orders to the SG. And decisions were taken. These were white papers. researches on the economy,
di seet nag ci mbiri koom-koom
social
réew
life,
ak nekkini nit ñi
and other things.
ak yeneen i fànn.
But
waaye
with the NIA,
ci NIA nag
which was created
nga xam ne ni sos ko nag
after dissolving the NSS,
gannaaw boo xam ne tasaare nañ NSS bi
not only new faces came,
nekkul rek ne sax ay kanam yu ees ñoo ñëw
because most of the old guys in the NSS were.
waaye ñu bëri nag ci NSS bi ñoom joxoon nañ leen liggéey bi.
Yeah, Jammeh give it a new function and a new role.
waa Jammeh daf ko joxoon beneen façon ngi liggéey ak beneen façon ngi warugal.
And in that, the NIA was giving much broader powers than the NSS. You agree with that?
NIA dañ leen jox gën a jox doole comme NSS.
Decree 48, 45.
45.
waaw comme ni ki Decree 45 ñeent fukk ak juróom.
And no longer was the NIA limited to looking into things that affected the state. The NIA was now given powers to look into things that affected private individuals who resided in the country.
NIA na ñoom emale wuñ woon rek seen mbir ci loo xam ne daf doon xajamal wala kaaraange li nga xam ne moo di réew mi waaye duggoon nañ sax ba ci ay nit ñoo xam ne ñu ngi nekkoon ci biir réew mi seen ay mbir.
non jox nañ NIA doole boo xam ne mën nañoo gestu mbir yoo xam ne laal na nit ñi nga xam ne ñoo dëkk ci réew mi. Those were the extent of the powers. Say, for instance, they can look into matters that affected the economic interests of residents in the country. Residents in the country is the word that was used generally in the legislation throughout. Do you agree with that?
I do.
Wow, namuna.
And we were talking about the character or the personality of the president. If you correlate the functions as a tool of the NIA or whatever, everything was centered around Yaya Jammeh.
So in effect, are you suggesting therefore that when the words in the legislation say to investigate matters of significant economic interest of the state of the Gambia or other residents in the country, that phrase, other residents in the country, could have been equated or synonymous to Yaya Jammeh?
That's what I'm coming to say.
Proceed.
This was somebody who was, excuse me, so self-centered. He was egocentric to a level whereby the security, threat to the security of the state was threat to his life, threat to him, threat to his family, threat to his properties. And he directed everything towards that.
Lo xamne ni nak jëm na luñ yaakaar ne luy xejamal jàmmi réew mi la dana ko moomale boppam ci ci bakkanam wala ci njabootam wala ci ay alalam.
Somebody once wrote that Yaya Jammeh's thinking is my Gambia, my country, my people, my farm, my this, everything was my. He owned us all and the country. Was it like that? Did you see it that way?
Yes. Suma réew, suma nit ñi, suma nangam, lu ci nekk rek daf ko moomale woon boppam ndax yow gisee nga ko noonu.
I told lead counsel.
Wax naa lead counsel ne
he brought about this fear phenomenon upon the civil service or armed and security forces.
So
as to subjugate them, make them obey his orders all times, all purposes. We've come back to the same thing. My this, my that, my that. I said he was egocentric.
May I
give you an example?
Yes, please.
a former ambassador of the United States to the Gambia, Pamela Ann White,
ambassador America fii ci réewi Gambia, Pamela Ann White,
requested to pay me a courtesy call in my office.
dafa aajoon pour ñëw seet si ma office.
I directed her to write the necessary note verbal to Foreign Affairs, and they will forward it to President's office.
ma joxe ndigal pour nag mu jaarale ko ci anam gi nga xam ne noonu la war a jaar jëm ci Foreign Affairs bi dem ci office of the President.
And naturally, Foreign Affairs, President's office would forward it to me.
bu ko defee nag office President bi dañ ko àggale ci man.
When the note came, he saw it.
bi kay googu ñëwee mu gis ko.
He approved, of course.
mu nangu ko nag dëgg la.
But with a note, footnote, that the SG should be present at the meeting.
waaye nag mu gën a dëgëral ne SG bi na war a teew ci meeting boobu.
I said, okay.
ma ne waaw.
The lady came.
ci la jigéen ji ñëw.
I invited my deputy.
ma dal di fekk suma député.
Invited my principal assistant secretary to take notes.
mu woon ak principal secretary bi pour muy bind.
And the SG sent a representative.
bu ko defee SG bi tamit am kum fa ebal am ndaw.
After the normal diplomatic niceties,
gannaaw nim jotaay boobu.
we went into business.
ñu dal di dugg nag ci liggéey bi.
She proposed assistance, of course, training packages and all that stuff to us.
xalaat nag affaire yi ndimbali njàng.
And we thanked her for American assistance and cooperation.
ñu gërëm ko ci ndimbalal America ak jàppalante bi.
Our joint fight against anti-terrorism.
pour nag ni ñu war a faslante la
trafficking,
ñu xeex wàlli
money laundering, and all that stuff.
terrorisme ak wàlli ñi raxas xaalis ak yeneen.
And she was full of praise.
te tamit nag mu amoon kontante.
For young technocrats within the system.
ci borom xam-xam yu ndaw yi nga xam ne ni ñu ngi si woon ci liggéey bi.
She promised.
mu digge ne.
further aid.
yeneen ndimbal.
She said it was time to continue working. Let's ignore the man's behaviors, misbehaviors, and just concentrate on it.
jot na pour ñu liggéey ñu fàtte nag waa ji jikkoom ji nga xam ne ni noonu la dee doxalee.
We agreed and the meeting went well, fine. And
ñu nangu nag meeting bi continuer dem ni mu waree ñu dal di tasaaroo.
I am obliged to write a minute.
cëri woon naa nag pour bind nag li nga xam ne ni moo taw ci meeting bi.
And I sent it upstairs.
ma dal di ko yónnee ci kaw.
Where was upstairs?
fan mooy ci kaw.
His office, to the President's office through the office of the Secretary General.
office President bi jaaree ko na si office Secretary General.
When his minute came down.
bi bindam yi wàccee tontum.
He said,
what did he say?
lan la ko wax.
He said, I will not forget that. The permanent secretary, rather than talk about our successes
permanent secretary bi ndee waxtaan suñu
in
yokkute.
infrastructure and other things,
mbiri samp ak yeneen.
opened his big mouth,
mu ubbi gémmiñam gu réegi.
praising the Americans.
di tëgg Americans yi.
I threw the file to my deputy. I said, read that.
ma dal di jox na file bi suma député ne ko jàngal li.
ma ne ko yow da nga expect man ma nekk jaliba yaa jame ci jigéen bi.
You expect me to become Yaya Jammeh's Jaliba?
Man ma toog di wax jaloore Yaya Jammeh ci jigéen bi loolu.
Am I the one who should tell Yaya Jammeh's history to this woman?
I told my deputy.
ma wax ko suma député bi.
That's how he thinks.
moom noonu la dee xalaatee.
It's all about himself.
So I was supposed to have. What?
It was all about himself.
Yeah.
Wow.
You had to sing his praises instead of anything else.
Here we are talking about concrete things for the benefit of the country.
But you had to, of course, emphasize he was Babili Mansa. He had done a lot of infrastructural development in the country. That's what was his expectation, wasn't it? But the civil service were all basically reduced into sycophancy. All of them praised him everywhere they went. Wasn't that the norm?
Woe betide you if you don't do it.
Mr. Sambou, I understand you even used to wear the asobi, the Jame asobi.
Sambou, yet na sahne yo bang dan sol asobi ya jamme.
You're civil servant.
Did.
Could you say again?
Everybody did.
And that's your defense?
No.
It was wrong, wasn't it?
Agreed.
Civil servants work for the government. And the government is neutral. It should not be involved in party politics. And I repeat that for good reason. The government of the Gambia is separate and different from the politics of the country. Civil servants must not be involved in the politics of the country. You agree with that?
May I?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Yaya Jammeh ordered for these paraphernalia. Caps.
Yaya Jammeh jël na li nga xamantene mo nekk doxalin bi nga xamantene mo doon am ci jamono bobu non.
Yaya Jammeh ci bopam mo indi bagage yoy moy mbaxana yek asobi yek yoy. Proceed.
And he would send bales of these tissues materials to various departments. Free of charge. Prior to the arrival of the date of whichever festivity it was. Who am I? Not to take the 6 or 10 meters my DG brings to me and said, HE says we should distribute this to everybody. Go and so.
Well, you could cite the general orders to them.
Yes, at your own peril.
Could you explain what you mean?
You would simply be branded as an anti, as an opposition, as a saboteur, as a subverter, and you go. Send him home. And sending him home means once you are out of State House or the gates of the NIA, they are waiting for you.
To take you where?
Where the Akos will say combo left hand.
Combo left hand. Hotel.
No, let's be frank. Apart from that, we've all seen what used to happen in Congo Kinshasa with Mobutu Sese Seko. Congo with Air Demo. Everybody will wear all these paraphernalia and be dancing at the airports and everything. This is the norm in Africa. It's African democracy. It's bad. We know. It's wrong.
It is Gambian tragedy. This is what we are talking about.
Accepted. Accepted.
Civil servants were paraded in airports dressed in Jame Asobi.
But lead council.
Why lead council?
I beg. Apart from agriculture in this country, the government is this, and the civil service is the biggest employer. Every senior civil servant has about 20 mouths to feed in his house. Top of the village.
civil servant ci buntu liggéey ka nguur gi amna lu dem ci ñaar fukki nit ñoo xamne ni ñu ci ron ñoo xamne yaa leen wara dundal.
Who would risk losing his job?
Kan moy fexé jema rep pour ñak liggéey bobu?
You have an 80-year-old mom in the house.
Ya nga am ya jo xamne muy toll ci juroom ñett fukki at.
Nieces and nephews are waiting for their school.
Jerbaat yeek yep ñu ngi tok di xaar fi school fi ak yeneen.
So people had to comply.
If
there were a choice, lead counsel, you would do it.
And just to save our jobs, I am saying our because I am including all of us in it. To save our jobs, we had to accommodate Yaya Jammeh to be a dictator.
Pour nak ñu mëna dess ci suñu liggéey ñun ñoo taxawal Yaya Jammeh pour mu nekk ko xamné nguuru jaay doole lay doxal ci suñu kaw.
What do you say to that?
No am pour wax ci lolu.
Dega la.
That's true.
Olof ñané na bour bonu dag ya bon.
The Olaf said that the king is not bad, it's the followers. Ñun
the same all of us the same like you are saying.
Ñun ñep comme ni nga waxé. Ñun
are the same people
nit ñi nga xamné
mingling among ourselves.
Ñoy doxlanté ak suñu bop ñun.
And then go behind each other's backs.
Bu ko défé rek ñu dal di gannaawante waat.
And go and tell him stories.
Dal di ko bolé.
And he starts sucking this.
Bu ko défé mu commencé di dakk ki akale.
That's why he used to say what goes around comes around.
Bu ko défé nak motax daf daan wax né lépp lo xamné wër lu wër rek dana wuñé ko ci waat fam joggé. Ñu ñoo Yaya Jammeh mel na meloon.
And principally the NIA, which was the instrument that drove fear in the hearts of Gambians.
NIA ñom ñoy ñi nga xamné ñoo daan indi ratlu ci ñi nga xamné ñoo nekk wa Gambia sen kaw.
Wow.
And the first test, or rather the second test to Yaya Jammeh's authority was the attacks at Farafenni barracks.
Benen niñ doon xam xayma na li nga xamne modi doole Yaya Jammeh moy cionga gañ defoon ci Farafenni.
Do you recall that incident?
Fatale ko nga xew bobu.
It's been a long time, but I can faintly remember after the
well, we will help you. Farafenni military barracks was attacked by dissidents from Liberia, ostensibly under the direction of Kukwai Sambasanyang.
ñi nga xamne ñoo cionga bi amone Farafenni ñi ko defoon moy ay nit yo xamne ñu nga baye kon Liberia di wone ne ñu ko def ci ron ndigali Kukwai Sambasanyang.
That attack on our security forces
songa bi nga xamne def nañ ko ci ñi nga xamne ñoo amé karange réew mi
culminated into the killing of a few Gambian soldiers. I should say many, in view of the size of our armed forces. Some put the number at 8 soldiers were killed at Farafenni. And some of those attackers were captured. Balo Kante, Yaya Drame, Omar Diouf was it Damfa, I think, Omar Diouf Damfa. Those were captured, I think Suleiman Sar as well. Yes. They committed the crime of treason. They committed murder. Very serious crimes against the state. And we all condemned that attack. You recall that incident? Criminal as their conduct was, the perpetrators had rights that were enshrined under the Constitution of the Republic. You agree with that?
No.
And no matter what they did, they ought to have been processed according to law. You agree? Tell us what happened when they were brought to the NIA for investigation.
léegi wax ñu nag lan xew bañ leen indee NIA.
They were brutally tortured.
dañ leen dóor yu méttital leen.
Tortured by who?
And moo leen doon méttital.
Well, you had some soldiers were there.
am na yenn soldat yu fa nekkoon.
But they were in the then investigation department.
waaye ñu ngi woon ci buntu bi nga xam ne ñoo doon def gestu yi.
Who did the torturing?
kan moo doon def méttital
I think the investigation department was led by Fode Barry.
yaakaar naa ne nag buntu bi saytoon wàllu gestu bi ki ko jiite woon mooy Fode Barry.
He had assistants.
ngi am ay ñeneen ñu koy dimbale.
Lamin Jobate was there.
Lamin Jobate fa la nekkoon.
Was responsible for prosecution matters.
moom moo amee woon lu jëm ci mbiri ñu leen ay attee.
Baba Saho was also there.
Baba Saho yi tamit mu ngi fa woon.
And a few young boys.
ak yeneen ay ndaw.
I would not remember who.
ñoo xam ne duma leen mën a fàtte ñan lañ.
Not unless maybe the list is called out and.
xam ne xëy na lim bi nag fi mu nekk ni sax fàtte na leen.
Salmina Dramé, was he there?
Yes.
Wow.
These were members of the investigations unit.
ñii ñooy ñi nga xam ne ñoo nekkoon ci fànn bi nga xam ne ñoo daan def mbiri gëstu yi foofu.
The question is, who did the torturing?
li ma laajte mooy kan moo doon def méttital yooyu mbugal yi kan moo ko doon def.
O ñan ñoo def the torturing?
ñi ma tudda nii ñoo nekkoon ci department bi.
Those that I named here, they were one at the department.
ñoom ñoo nekkoon ci department bi foofu te torturing amoon na.
su fekkee ne ñoom if they were there in the investigation department and there was torture, then they were the one.
Mr. Sambou, we are not going to put it like that.
Mr. Sambou duñ ko jëlee noonu de.
We have to call a spade a spade.
dañoo wax mbir yi daal ni mu demee ñu waxee ko noonu.
yax bi moom nañ ko toj.
Okay, let's break it.
Let's hit the nail on the head and stop beating about the bush.
I won't.
You were there as de facto Deputy Director General, correct?
Indeed.
yow yaa ngi fa woon nekk Director General bi nga xam ne moo fa génn.
ki toppoon ci Director General.
Indeed.
Waaw dëgg la.
You saw what was happening.
yaa ngi doon gis li doon xew.
Mos naa faa dem gis leen.
I once went there and I saw it.
Not just once, you've been there several times and then you saw what was going on.
du benn yoon de yaa ngi fa woon ay yooni yoon te gisoon nga li fa doon doon.
ñaar ñetta several la kon several la.
If at all it's 2 or 3, it's several, then it's several.
Well, so they may be am ñetta kañ passé nga couple.
Waaw dëgg la.
D'accord. So you saw what was going on.
I did.
léegi gisoon nga li doon dox.
Gis naa ko.
These people were tortured by your colleagues.
ñii sa ay liggéeyandoor ñoo leen doon bugal.
Waaw.
Who are they?
ñan la.
Fode Barry, as I said.
Fode Barry comme ni ma ko waxee.
Baba Saho.
Baba Saho.
Jobate.
Jobate.
Which Jobate?
Lamin.
Lamin.
Otherwise known by what other name?
Babanding.
Babanding lañ ko gën a xamee.
And I think you mentioned another name, I can't remember.
I mentioned Salmina Dramé.
Yes.
Was he there?
Salmina Dramé la fi.
The whole team was there. I wouldn't remember everybody.
Du ma mën a fàttali ko ñëpp.
But the question is, was he there?
He was.
Waaw mu
Did he participate in the tortures?
bokkoon na ci ñi doon def métital yooyu di mbugal nit ñi foofu.
It's been a long time, I wouldn't know, but I presume yes.
yàgg na de du ma mën a xam waaye nag danaa wax ne waaw.
You presume or you believe?
yaakaar nga wala gëm nga ne.
Yes, I believe.
waaw gëm naa ni.
How about Jim Dramé?
naka Jim Dramé nag.
He was part of the team.
moom it bokkoon na ci kuréel googu.
Part of the torturers?
bokkoon na ci ñu doon mbugale.
If the others tortured, I don't see any reason why he wouldn't.
bu fekkee ne ñeneen ñi daldi woon nañu dóor ñooñu moom lu tax du ko def.
Tell us a bit about those tortures.
wax ñu lu aju ci métital yooyu nga xam ne moom lañ doon def.
What you saw, Balo Kante, Yaya Dramé, Omar Diouf Damfa, and all this.
Linga gis Balo Kante,
Suleiman Sarr.
Damfa, Omar Diouf Dramé, Suleiman Sarr.
Omar Diouf Damfa, Suleiman.
Omar Diouf Damfa, Suleiman Sarr.
I heard Balo Kante saying that they were severely beaten.
Dégg naa Balo Kante di wax ne dañ leen dóor yu métti métti.
In fact, he also said that his nipple was cut off.
Moom sax daal dina wax tamit ne daal dina ñu dog li am ci som bi.
Particularly mentioned Jobate.
Te tamit daf ci tudd nag Jobaate.
From what you heard Balo Kante say,
Linga dega Balo Kante wax ko.
did you notice any lie? He said.
Ndax seetlu nga ci kàddu yim fi wax yépp ndax am na ci dara lu mu wax te doonu dëgg.
I would have said he lied about me, but during my tete-a-tete with lead counsel in his office,
dama doon mën a wax ne dafa fen ci suma mbir waaye waxtaan wi nga xam ne am naa ko lead counsel.
and reminded me, and I agreed with lead counsel.
Ci lañ
Yes.
ci biñ waxee nag ci la ma fàttali ne loolu ci laa nangu ne waaw dëgg la.
I definitely, he refreshed my mind and I agree.
Ci la besalaat suma xel nag ci laa nangu.
So you agree that what Balo Kante said was true?
Yes, I
nangu
do.
nga ne Balo Kante lim fi wax dëgg la.
Waaw dëgg la duma ko weddi.
Like I told lead counsel in his office.
Comme ni ma ko waxee lead counsel ci office am.
It knows it.
Yi nga xam ne ni moo jàkkaarloo mi même moo ko xam. Moom moo xamoon méttitam. He knows what pains him, so whatever he said is true. I will not deny it.
Balo Kante suggested that you came in, you saw him and the others being tortured, and you did not say or do anything to stop it.
Balo Kante wax na ne yow da nga dugg si fekk moom ak ñeneen ñu ngi leen di mitital di leen mbugal waaye yow waxuloo ci dara pour tere leen.
Yes, it is in the allegation on the notice of
adverse mention.
Waaw comme mu ngi ci tuuma yi nga xam ne moom lañ yombali wax.
And I have replied.
Te tontu naa.
Which I submitted today.
Boo xam ne ni àggale naa ko tey.
Yes, of course you have a right not to incriminate yourself. We remind you of that fact. And what is your answer to this allegation? That you are there, you are Deputy Director General of the, de facto Deputy Director General of the NIA. You saw them being tortured. You did or say nothing to stop it.
Yeah, I didn't do anything. It is in my statement.
If you answer out of turn, it may not be captured.
Sorry.
Yes, could you respond now?
There, I did not do anything. But I went upstairs and called the attention of the boss. Those down there were not under me. They are under the big boss, Sambou. When I called his attention, he looked at me and said I was a coward.
The irony of this whole thing, Mr. Sambou, is that some of these witnesses seem to suggest that whenever you go there, the torture against them seems to intensify.
ñi nga xam ne yëpp ñoo fi joxe seen seede liñ fi wax mooy ne buñ leen dee mbugal di leen mitital noonu yow saa yoo duggasee rek mitit bi dafay gën a tar.
What do you say to that?
loo am pour wax ci loolu.
That's the 5th issue on the adverse mention.
Even for Balo Kante and others, that is the suggestion. In fact, they suggested a little more than that, and I am building up. I'm giving you the opportunity to respond to these things.
I wrote that Damfa and Kante have the right to feel, say what they said. Because they were, at that time, in a very difficult situation. Like I said, who feels it knows it. But I was not supposed to be there and give command to the boys down there. I told Sambou, like Like I said, he said I was a coward.
Comme ni ma ko waxee daf ne man tapet la.
But it was up to him to take a decision.
waaye nag dafa desoon ci moom rek pour mu jël ay dogal.
As to what I raised or as to the.
ci li nga xam ne nii moom laa ko wax.
Because he was the boss.
ndax jamono jooju moom moo nekkoon kilifa gu mag gi.
But Omar Diouf seems to suggest that you were complicit in their torture.
Omar Diouf moom wax na ne yow bokkoon nga sax àndoon nga ci mitital bi nga xam ne moom lañ leen doon def.
I have just said that he has a right to his opinion.
waaw comme ni ma waxee rek
is either subjective or objective.
nekk na koo xam ne nii am na cër ci li nga xam ne nii loolu mooy xalaatam ak li muy wax.
On the perspective of the individual.
des na rek ci ñi nga xam ne noonu la ko waxee moo xam nag.
The information the commission received is that whenever you show up in the torture room, you would say, "Nasaf de, nasafa saf."
xibaar nga xam ne moom la fi commission bi jot mooy ñi fi wax yi wax nañ ne yow daal saa yu leen di mbugal di leen mitital boo duggasee daal dangay ne na safa saf rek.
Those that knows Harry Sambou, he is not that type of person.
We have seen quite a lot of characters before this TRRC. Did you or did you not say that?
I don't think I said it. No, I didn't. I don't want to tell a lie. I did that.
It means you are not sure whether you did or did not.
I would prefer to differ.
That is
to differ. D-I-F-F-E-R, not D-E-F-E-R.
Okay.
I cannot defer the answer.
Well, to defer it means to push it aside, not to deal with it now. So to differ means to not agree.
Yes.
All right. So you do not agree.
I do not agree.
Well, what don't you agree with? The question is, you said that you're not quite sure. I can't recall the exact words. You said, "I think not." I think those were the words you used.
At the end of the sentence.
So because you think not.
At the end of the sentence, lead counsel, I said no.
But no matter how it is packaged, it suggests that you are not sure.
But I've just said no, I don't agree.
What don't you agree with?
I have just told you that the Harry Sambou I know is not like that.
Well, we all thought that the people who were recruited in our National Intelligence Agency were not like that. Answer now.
Yes, I know.
So we all thought that they were very decent people who would respect the rights of Gambians. We all thought that those who were doing the torturing of Gambians were foreigners. Lo and behold, these are our own brothers who were torturing us.
People have different backgrounds.
Different
levels of home education.
But you would agree that it is really disappointing and abhorrent that it was us who were torturing one another.
Do
you answer now?
I said agreed.
Yes, the thing is, if you answer out of turn, it's not reflected, because I am watching the screen as we go ahead, so sometimes if you answer out of turn, it's not recorded.
I agree.
So the fact that you say the Harry Sambou I know would not do this is in fact not good evidence before this commission. Because the people we expected, or we thought were doing the tortures, were in fact the people who we least expected would do it. If you look at it, amongst the torturers you have mentioned, let's take them again, name them one by one. First person.
Fodebari.
Second person.
Baba Saho.
Third person.
Lamin Jobate.
Fourth person.
Salmina Drame.
You have a similar background to Baba Dinding Jobate. Legal training, social welfare, NIA. You have just implicated him in torture.
I mentioned home training.
He
didn't mention that one.
Home training is not verified.
It's okay.
But you can see that even people with the highest level of education, and we would expect decency, you have implicated them in torture.
One, I'm not the only one who implicated them. I'm not the first one to have done so.
Of course, we take note of that. You are corroborating the allegations of other people.
Just like others are corroborating the allegations of others against me.
It therefore behoves you to accept the veracity of the allegations against you.
That is why I said it's a long time, I don't remember. Agree.
But isn't this convenient, Mr. Sambou?
I don't agree with him.
Isn't this convenient? You are very able to recollect and corroborate the torture or the allegations of torture by your colleagues, but you cannot remember to accept the areas in which you are implicated in that torture. You choose to think not. You choose not to remember.
I have personally never tortured anybody.
That is a given. The allegation is not that you tortured. We do not have any such evidence. And we apologize if you think that that is the kind of suggestion we are making. But the evidence is you have encouraged, you have encourage the torturers to do it harder. No,
that's what he said.
Yes, that's what he said. And he who feels it knows it.
Yes. I wouldn't agree with him on that.
But this is the issue here. You are able to recall quite vividly when your colleagues did the torture, but you cannot recollect when you encourage those same colleagues to do the torture. It's like self-preservation.
Wali dafa mel ni da nga tan dal mën nga fateleku say natango ñom bugal ak mitital yi nga xamne ñu ko doon tek ñeneen way yow mënu lo fateleku yow mi sa bop fekke nga ko ak la nga xamne mom nga ci def pour hital leen ñu gën ko def man la nga tan li nga fateleku.
No, I wouldn't want to self-preserve myself.
But no matter, well, perhaps maybe I should just read out the law at this stage. The law for amnesty.
Lead counsel, let's draw a conclusion to this.
I'm listening. Please proceed.
If this is the situation, yes.
Not so simple.
It's okay, yes.
We are out for the truth.
Yes.
We are not out to get convenient no, convenient arrangements because of the situation. So that is why I am not prepared to trade certain agreements with the search for the truth. Are you accepting responsibility for these tortures, that you are accused to have been complicit in these tortures as somebody who encouraged the torture? Is that what you are accepting?
Or as the deputy director who was there went and saw witnessed? The deputy director. What you're asking?
Well, these are two things. These are two different strands of responsibility. One is superior responsibility, being Deputy Director General, seeing it happen, you know a crime was being committed, and you did or said nothing to stop, to prevent it. But even when you did later, the tortures didn't stop, they continued. So this first limb, that is responsibility as a superior. Or as a commander, because the NIA had a command structure. So do you agree responsibility on that limb?
I do.
Wow, definitely.
And the other limb for responsibility is you encouraging the torture. One of the victims said that whenever you come, the tortures intensify because you would say, nasaf de, nagenasaf. Do you deny that? Or do you accept it?
I find it difficult to agree with him, but I accept. I accept.
The commission will have had your answer, and the commission would draw whatever conclusions that is to be drawn in this.
I hope so, but I agree.
Mr. Chair, may I proceed? You satisfied with that answer? Thank you. Perhaps maybe, well, it's 18 minutes past 4. Up to what time should I be expected to stop? Because we can't finish today. Mr. Sambou, you want to say something?
No, I was just suggesting that we can continue till 5.
But let's leave it to the commissioners to decide. Yes.
Please proceed.
Up to what time do I have?
7 p.m.
Well, I'll be happy to go till 7 p.m., Mr. Chair.
Please go on a little bit more. Without giving you time, when you get tired, you tell me.
No, rest assured, I won't get tired. No, I can go on till midnight.
Then let's go on. Let's go on.
Your executive secretary is suggesting 5 p.m.
Let's go on.
All right, okay, we proceed. I would stop when the chair asks.
Thank you. Yeah. Go on, please.
All right, thank you. These people were not, we talked about the methods of torture that was used on them. Apart from the beating, could you recollect what other methods of torture was used on them?
I heard Balo talking about plastics.
dégg naa Barrow di wax affaire plastic.
And what about the plastics?
Plastic yi lo mooy lan.
They were being burnt on them.
Wa mu ne dañ lakk plastic yooyu ci seen kaw.
Do you recollect seeing this happen or learning about this happening to them?
Fàttale ko nga yow nga gis ko wala nga yëg ne loolu mu ngi leen doon dal.
Yes, I was aware.
Balo was truthful.
Balo wax na dëgg bon.
Who feels it knows it.
Ki ko yëg rek moo ko xam.
But answer the question: was Balo truthful?
Waaye tontul ndax
Yes, in that sense, yes.
Ci kaw loolu de kon dëgg la.
In the real sense, was he truthful?
Yes. He was.
He also talked about electrocution.
wax na itamit kuraa yi nga xam ne ñu ngi leen ko doon maas.
Yes, I heard about it.
Boobu it dégg naa ko.
As far as you know,
yow ci sa wàlli xam-xam.
who did these tortures, the burning with plastic and the electrocution?
ñan ñoo doon lakk mbuusi di leen ko toxal ak ñi leen nga xam ne ñoo leen doon maas kuraa yi.
I think what I heard Balo said.
Comme li ma yaakaar ne li mu Balo wax.
Fodé and Baba.
Fodé ak Baba.
Now let us not talk about what you heard from the victim. Let's talk about what you know to have happened as de facto Director General at the NIA at that time.
léegi nañ fàtte li nga xam ne moom nga dégg seede bi wax yow ci sa wàlli xam-xam li nga xam comme que yaa nekkoon ki toppa ci Director General bi loo xam ci mbir moomu.
Who was doing the tortures?
ñan ñoo doon def mitital.
Those tortures, the electrocution and the burning with liquid plastic.
mitital yooyu ñan ñoo ko doon def di sokkuraan yi ci seen kaw ak di jël lakka mbuusi di leen ko toxal.
I presume the same guys that we mentioned before.
Are you avoiding to mention their names?
The same Baba, the same Masan, the same
Baba,
Jim, the same.
Jim.
Who else? Yes.
Let's take it step by step. Nailera. Mention the names. Number one.
Baba Saho. Fode Bari. Jabate. Salmina. Jim.
So, Salmina, what's his last name?
Salmina Num Santa.
Drame.
Jim, what's his last name?
Jim Num Santa.
I think also Drame.
Jim Mani. Drame.
Baba, what's his last name?
Saho.
Saho.
Lamin, what's his last name?
Jabate.
Jabate.
And Fode, what's his last name?
Bari.
These were the people who were doing those tortures.
You
mentioned that you talked to Sambou about the tortures. Where is Sambou now?
He's late, he's deceased.
So, do you have any other person to corroborate your suggestion that you talk to the DG against these tortures?
Am nga keneen ku mun a wéral sa kàddu nga wax ne wax nga Director General bi lu aju ci mitital yi nga xam ne moom la fa doon def.
No, I don't, because my discussions with Sambou were private. He was my boss, and when I go into his office, I knock, I enter, he closes the door,
and
I leave.
Daw suma waxtaan ak Sambou yëpp mooy suma boss la dafa nekk loo xam ne man ak moom rek la su ñëwee mu tëj bunta bi ñu waxtaan ma génn.
In essence, the only person who would have corroborated your defense that you objected to this is someone who is normal.
Yes.
Melni da kenn ka xam ne moo mun a wéral sa kàddu yooyu rek nit la koo xam ne léegi ndam si yàlla la dundatu.
But nonetheless, you accept responsibilities on two limbs of responsibility. One is superior responsibility, the other is encouragement.
I do.
waaye ba léegi nangu nga daal ne li nga xam ne moom lañ la teg ne moom nga def nangu nga ko ci ñaari fànn yépp yow kilifa nga nekk fa ba pare nekk nga koo xam ne ànd nga ci liñ doon def.
Could you respond now?
Say I do.
Wow, def nangu naa.
Okay, let's then move on to another issue.
léegi ñu jàll ci beneen mbir.
No, perhaps I should stick with this for a little while. There were soldiers who were also present at some point during these tortures.
amoon na ay soldaar yoo xam ne léeg-léeg jamono joo xam ne dina ñuy fekkee mbugal yi nga xam ne moom la ñu teg nit ñi foofu.
Do you recall?
fàttale ko nga.
Yes, Samsudin Sar was mentioned.
Waaw, Samsudin Sar tudde nañ ko ci.
Do you recollect him being there?
fàttale ko nga moom mu ngi fa.
When these rebels were first brought in from Farafenni,
jamono bi nga xamné ci lañ indi rebel yi ci njëlbeen ci place bi.
All came down to see who they were.
ñëpp dañ ñëw pour seet ñan lañ.
And at that stage, these guys were being tortured.
te jamono boobu ñooñu ñu ngi leen doon mbugal di leen mitital.
Correct?
dëgg la.
Confirmed.
dëgg la.
You answering out of thought.
They confirmed.
Because this is a record that is being kept here. We don't want there to be a confusion as to whether the witness answered or did not answer.
Yes, they confirmed.
So these people were present, Samsudin Sar and others were present while these rebels were being tortured.
Samsudin Sar ak ñee ñu nga teewoon jamono yi nga xam ne ñu ngi doon mitital rebel yi foofu.
Yes.
Wow. Good. Do you know whether any one of those soldiers participated in the torture in one way or another?
ndax xam nga ndax kenn ci soldat yooyu bokkoon nañ ci mitital yi nga xam ne moom lañ fa doon teg ñooñu ci nu mën a demee.
Sar did.
Could you say again?
I said I think Sar did.
yaakaar naa Sar def na ko.
What do you recall him do?
loo fàttale ko loo xam ne Sar def na ko.
Exactly, definitely I wouldn't recall.
Manuma fàttale ko lan la def ndax loolu yàgg na.
Had it not been for Mbalo's accusation of me, I wouldn't have remembered.
su duutoon ak Mbalo li ma tuuma sax duma ko fàttale ko.
Did you just sort this out of your memory?
Well, I'm reminded. The things are coming back. It's been years.
ma fàttali mu ngi ñëw ndànk da ay at la ci gannaaw.
I have to be frank.
dama war a wax dëgg rek.
I have to be frank.
Your recollection
li nga fàttale
is that Sar participated.
moo ne Sar bokk na ci.
Would you answer now?
Yes.
Wow.
léegi tontul.
What recollection do you have of what he may have done?
lan nga fàttale ko ci loo xam ne Sar def na ko.
I don't know.
What is your basis for saying that he participated?
bon yow na foo sukkandiku ci wane ne moom bokk na.
You must have something in your mind which would tell you that he participated.
foog mu am loo xam ne mu ngi ci sa xel mi lu laa mën a won ne bokkoon na.
It's difficult.
jafe na lool.
I'm very sorry.
It cannot be just a guesstimate.
du nekk loo xam ne da nga xalaat rek foog rek de.
You must have something in your mind to tell you that this person participated.
foog mu am lu nekk ci sa xel mi lu laa won ne Sar mi bokk na.
You must have seen him do something in order to be able to suggest that he participated in torture.
ñàkkut ne foog nga gis dara loo xam ne gis nga mu def ko loo xam ne dina la mun a won ne kii bokk na ci ñu doon mitital.
Beating?
Dore? Did you see him beat?
danga ko gis muy dóor.
I think I did.
yaakaar naa daal gis naa ko.
You think, you know, you saw.
nga foog nga xam nga gis.
I wouldn't know without seeing.
dama xam su fekkee ne gisuma ko.
Of course.
Yes.
That's why, so when you know, it's not just you think.
loolu moo tax nag mu wéral ne bu fekkee ne da nga xam nekkul ne da nga foog de.
You know.
xam nga.
Did Sar beat one or more of the rebels? Or he did not?
I think he did.
Balo Kante. He said that Samsidin Sar kicked him with his boots. He stamped him, he trampled upon him. He also beat him with his fist. And somebody he could recall as Babukar Jata grabbed him and stopped him. Is Balo Kante lying?
I don't think so.
Is Balo Kante speaking the truth?
I'm inclined to believe.
It's very well nuanced, Mr. Sambou. It's very well nuanced. With all those qualifications, what is the truth? No, wahji lerut nañ. Amna garal yuñ ci garal yo xamne dafa tax nit ki du xam liñ ci jublu lepp lan la. Nañ ko leral bem leer nañ. Comme ni olof di wax rek ñu toj yax bi su ko defé feñal lepp. Balo Kante lim wax deug la ndax du deug?
Wana deug.
He said the truth. Could you answer now?
Wana deug.
Yes, it's true. Thank you very much. Now, let us move to perhaps a little. What was happening there? You are trained in the law, Mr. Sambou. What was happening there with these rebels who unlawfully attacked the Marafenye barracks and unlawfully killed some Gambian soldiers?
Mr. Sambou, yow jàng nga loi lan mooy li nga xam ne moo doon xew ci rebel yooyu nga xam ne dañ songa Farafenni te jaarale wuñ ko ci loi am ñoo xam ne rey nañ leen te jaarul ci loi.
Were the acts happening at the NIA at that time lawful?
Li nga xam ne moo doon xew foofu ca NIA ndax ànd na ak loi?
They did. No.
No. Why do you say that?
In State Council's introduction of this issue, he said these rebels' rights were enshrined in the Constitution. Constitution. They had rights. And they could have been respected.
Could have been or ought to have been?
Yes.
They ought to have been
respected. But we are not respected.
And do you know that Yaya Drame died as a result of the severe beating he received at the NIA?
Yaya Drame Fatou mu ngi soso ci miti dori miti yi nga xamne mom lañ ko def fofu.
May I please ask where he died? In the hospital, in Mile 2 and the NIA?
When after which time did he pass away?
He died in Mile 2.
Mile 2 la dee.
soon afterwards.
Can council please let me know how many days per time, the length of time?
I don't know exactly the date, but here I have a human rights a report on, I think it's by Amnesty International.
Xawma bés bi nag waaye am na xibaar boo xam ne bàyyeekoo na ci amee ak yelleefi doomu aadama yaakaar naa ba tey
of 2nd December 1997.
ñu ngi ko bindoon ñaari fan December 1997.
And it's entitled
te liñ ci wax mooy
The Gambia
Gambia
Democratic Reforms Without Human Rights.
wécceeku ci wàllu doxin démocratie te àndalewuñ ko ak yelleefi doomu aadama.
And I'm looking, and on page 4 of the report, it talks about human rights violations since the elections. And in paragraph 3 of the report, it says in May 1997, one person died in custody, apparently as a result of torture. Yaya Drame had been held at Banjul's Mile 2 prison since an attack by armed men on the Gambia's second largest military camp at Farafenye, some 100 kilometers east of Banjul, in November 1996.
Chonga bo xamne defoon nañ ko ci ñaareeli béréb boo xam ne dëkk màggala ci Gambia mu xewoon ci atum 19.
He was under constant medical care when he died in May.
moom nag ci loon faj goo xam ne moom lañ ko doon faj bu tar boo xam ne ñu ngi ko doon fajee jamono bi moo faatu.
So he died a few months thereafter.
dafa mel ni ay weer yu néew daal gannaaw ci la gaañu.
Are you aware of this?
I heard about one of them who died. I don't know who it was.
Would you say that the torturers are responsible for manslaughter?
ndax di nga mën a wax ne ñi nga xam ne ñoo doon def mitital yooyu ñoom ñoo waral faatu gi.
Lead counsel, I'm not a common law lawyer.
Lead counsel, ab lawyer.
I have a background in law, which is non-common law.
Well, you did not ask me time just in the blue. You asked me about the time frame within which the person died, because you are recalling from the law that you learned that for there to be a case of murder, the person has to have died within 1 year of the act that caused death.
Waling ma laaj ñoonu nag ne ban waxtu diggante mitital gi ak ba moo dee diir bi ñaata la toll laajuloo ma ko rek sa xalaati bopp nag ma ko laaj ndi xam nga ne luwaa bi balaa nangu ne loolu mooy sabab bi na nekk na borom dafa war a faatu ci diiri benn at bi loolu tax
su ko defee ñu mun a wax ne daf ko rey ci anam bu ñuy ooyee mooda mooy nga faat nit ki fekk nga bëgg koo faat nga bëgg a jël bakkanam.
Isn't lead counsel pushing it down my throat?
Lead counsel ni ko yalla ci suma
Lord ni.
I don't want to put it through your throat. I am just throwing a proposition. It's for you to accept or deny the proposition.
Man bëgguma la forcer pour nga wax ko waaye nag dama la ko tegal rek nga nangu wala nga bañ a nangu.
You of course know what is the crime of murder.
Ndaxte xam nga li nga xam ne moo di yaxaluwa bi nga xam ne moo nekk ci mbiri rey nit te tey ko.
In this particular case, I say at least, at minimum, it's a case of manslaughter.
Ci jamono ji mun naa wax ne mbiri rey nit la boo xam ne danga ko rey te jubluwuloo ko ci woon.
You agree?
Nangu nga.
Please proceed, Mr. Sam.
Yes, I do.
Wow, nanguna.
You agree that this is a case of manslaughter?
Yes.
Wow.
Could you answer now, please?
I said yes.
Would you answer again?
I said yes.
Wow. Thank you very much. So now let's, Mr. Chair, perhaps I would at some stage put in this document, the Amnesty International document I'm referring
I
to.
thought it was submitted way back at some point.
Not the Amnesty report.
That's the Amnesty non-report, or
not this Amnesty report.
Okay, there was
yes, there are several because these are annual reports.
Fine.
All right. Okay, so I now have to put in 2 documents, but I will do that at the end.
Sure. So now 5-10 minutes to wind up if you want to.
5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Now, of course, torture became a culture at the NIA. Would you agree?
Yes, I do.
Wow, nanguna.
Why do you think that these tortures were taking place?
Please come again.
Why do you think these tortures were taking place? What was the objective? What was the reason, the ratio d'etre for these tortures?
Like I said,
comme ni ma ko waxee,
President Jammeh, he liked seeing people suffer.
Yaya Jammeh dafa nekkoon koo xam ne bu bëggoon nit ñi di torox, di gis nit ñi torox.
And
Kate, are you suggesting he was a sadist?
I'm coming. He enjoyed seeing people suffer.
Dan bànneexu pour yaan gis nit ñi di torox.
And begging him or pleading with him,
wala di ko ñaan di jégalu ci moom.
He deducted as a sign of weakness.
Dafay gis ne loolu daal ak yoxam la.
And he hardly believed anybody, trusted anybody.
Te du daan óolu kenn.
Even if you bring somebody to him and say, well, we've spoken to the person, yes.
Même soo indi nit ne ko kii wax nañu moom.
Admitted.
Mu nangu.
He would say no.
Dana wax ne déedéet.
He doesn't believe.
Gëmut ko.
The only way he thinks you can get the person to talk is to extract.
Ni nga ñu yaakaar ne mooy pour nga def nit ki mu wax mooy dangay génne dëgg moom.
We missed something.
He would have to extract the truth from the person. Extraction was in place of obtaining.
Interesting choice of words, Mr. Sambou.
Mr. Sambou.
Extraction.
Yes.
Instead of obtaining,
yes,
or abstention.
Yes.
Yes. In your statement, you described it in other language. They extorted confessions out of people instead of obtaining confessions.
That is true. Let me please let's replace the extraction with extortion.
These are very strong words, Mr. Sambou.
Yes, because like I said, The boss did not accept. He could not accept persuasion. He thought everybody, there should be a show of power. So that he was the one up there, one, and two, the person had to be, what do I say?
Maltreated,
yes,
brutalized,
yes,
bullied.
In order to, one, subjugate the person, two, get the person to cooperate, and for you to go and face him with a file and say, sir, we have spoken to the guy, he has voluntarily written his statement. This is, you wouldn't listen to that. But you would think that you have come there not only to beg for the person, but maybe you know him or you are negotiating. And you would say, you want to replace him. And you would be in a funny position. So that culture, giving VIP treatment, that culture develops, metamorphosed, in order to harden not only the agents or but to make everybody feel once you are in there.
Strong words again. That culture metamorphosed and made these agents hardened. These are your words.
Yeah, my words.
So the culture or torture became a policy of the NIA in order to secure information that Yahya Jammeh wanted from those who threatened his authority. Would you agree with that?
Yahya Jammeh would give personal orders. And he would follow up on each individual case.
Orders like what?
The VIP treatment.
VIP treatment. What is VIP treatment? What does it mean?
Tortures.
So you're saying Yahya Jammeh would personally give these orders? Would you answer now?
Yes.
Well, have you ever had personal first-hand knowledge of Yahya Jammeh ordering torture?
yow ndax mus nga gis yow sa bopay sa walé xam-xam Yahya Jammeh di joxe ndigal yi pour ñu def ay mitital ci kaw ñoom.
I have not, but I know it has happened.
Mosuma ko fekke waye nak amna ne dana dan am.
Now let us deal with 2006.
Légui nak ñu jëm ci mbiri atum 2006.
On 20 March 2006, you are Director of Operations at the IEC.
Ñaar fukki fan ci atum 2006 wéri March ya nekkon Director Operations ci IEC.
By 22nd March 2006, you became new Director General of the NIA.
Ñaar fukki fan ñaar wéri March 2006 nga ñëw nekk Director General bu bees bi ci NIA.
Tell us what happened.
Wax ñu lu xew.
How it happened.
Naka la xewé.
I was Director of Operations at the IEC preparing for the budget for the forthcoming elections in September.
Saytu lu jëm ci wàlli doxalini Independent Electoral Commission di muntu liggéeykaay bi saytu mbiri atte bi di waajal nag lu jëm ci njëliñ dog ci mbiri wote bi dégmal si.
And I got a telephone call from State House to go and answer.
Ma am telephone call bu jóge ko ci State House ne ma dem uyu ji.
So I went.
Ma dem.
And was summoned to the Secretary General's office.
Ñu daldi ma yóbbu na ci office Secretary General bi.
At the time it was Mambure Njai.
Time boobu Mambure Njai la.
And he sat me down and said, wait for me. Came in and out, and said, come. That I have orders for you. Orders, he said, yes. I said, what orders? He said, Ichi has instructed that you go and take over.
His Excellency President
Yes, sir. Sit down and wait for your letter. So I sat.
Who was he referring to as Hechi?
His Excellency Yaya Jammeh. Then Yaya Jammeh, Buba. So I sat down. After some time, my letter came.
What did the letter say?
Letter of appointment is acting appointment. Take over as acting Director General of the NIA with immediate effect.
And this would be your second coming.
Second. Second. So I went and reported to the chairman IEC. This is the letter.
One ko ki borom kër yi buntu liggéey kay Independent Electoral Commission ne ko li moy letter bi.
What do we do? I said, I don't know.
Mu ne ma légui na lu ñoy def ma ne ko xawma.
So I started.
Who was the Director General at the IEC at the time?
The chairman.
Chairman, I meant to say.
Late Nondi Njai.
Late Nondi Njai, dem ci Yalla Nondi Njai.
So I shuttled for about 2 weeks between IEC and the NIA.
Until
I finally resigned from the IEC and took over at the NIA.
Something must have precipitated this move, your sudden appointment as Director General.
Yes.
At the NIA.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
I was informed there and then that there was an abortive coup. And
coup d'etat.
And the then Director General Marena was involved. And he was removed. That's all.
Were you given any particular tasks? Any particular directives?
Yes. Yes.
Well, tell us.
A panel of investigation was supposed to have been formed to interview all those arrested and detained in connection with the abortive coup.
And who were to be members of the panel?
Officers from various armed and security forces formed the panel.
Who selected the members?
I think Lang Tombong did in collaboration with the president then. Lang Tombong Tamba, then Chief of Defense Staff.
President bi nga xamne jamono bo mo jité soldat yi réew mi.
How do you know that?
Naka nga ko xamé?
He came to tell me.
Momako wax.
Who told you?
Lang Tombong.
Lang Tombong.
So Lang Tombong Tamba and the president set up, basically, they chose the members of the panel.
Lang Tombong Tamba ak president bi ñom ñoo tan ñi nga xamne ñoo wara bokk ci kuréel kilifa yoy nonu.
Yes. Well, you are to be the head of the NIA.
Yow ya nekkon jité ki nga xamne mo jité NIA.
Was the NIA represented in the panel?
Ndax NIA amna ku len téwal ci kuréel gogu.
Wow.
Yes.
Who was the person?
The
Deputy Director General Mamadou Haidara.
Ki topon ci ki jité NIA Mamadou Haidara.
How was he selected to be in the panel?
He was nominated by the then CDS Langtombong Tamba.
Ki di CDS Langtombong Tamba moko tanon.
As the new Director General of NIA, did you have to approve that appointment?
Comme que yow yaa nekkoon Director General bu bees bi ci NIA ndax tànn boobu ñu ko tànn yow danga ko waroon a nangu pour ñu tànn ko ci.
No, I did not have to approve.
Déedéet waruma woon koo wéral.
Orders came from above.
ndax ndigal bi mu ngi jógee ko ci kaw.
What was to be the role of the NIA, or your role as Director General? What was to be your role in this investigation panel?
Ci kuréel googu nga xam ne ñoom lañ tànnoon pour ñu def gëstu boobu yow mii lan moo ciy woon sa cër.
The panel was to have been housed in the premises of the NIA.
Panel bi seen wax liggéey yëpp dañ ko waroon a defee ci biir NIA.
Because there was a hall in upstairs in the main yard.
amoon na benn hall bu nekkoon ci kaw.
That was like a conference room.
boo xam ne ni mu ngi mel ni conference room.
And it had enough space.
am na nag place bu doy.
So he gave instructions that the proceedings take place there.
ci la ci jox ndigal nag ne jotaay boobu nag nañ ko defee ci foofu.
And of course by HE you mean
Yaa Jammeh.
Yaa Jammeh.
Who selected the various first of all, tell us the various components of that panel. You said it was to be comprised with members of various security institutions. Tell us where were they derived from?
wax ñu kuréel googu noonu ñi nga xam ne ñoo fa teewoon dëgg la wax nga ñu ne ñu ngi leen tànnee ci ay bunti kaaraange ci bari ci réew mi fii waaye wax ñu fan lañ leen jëlee.
It was chaired by the Deputy Director General.
ki ko jiite woon mooy Deputy Director General bu NIA Modou Haidara.
Policemen.
am na ay police.
Members of the military security military intelligence.
ñi nga xam ne ni nekk police soldats yi nga xam ne ni ñoo nekk ci buntu xerewlu ci soldat gi.
Yes.
So you'd have NIA, police and army.
Yes.
léegi am nga fa NIA am fa police am fa soldat.
But of course you also had GRTS.
waaye am nga fa GRTS.
Yes, I came to find out.
waaw ci lañ yëg ne.
The evidence received by the Commission is that this panel comprised of investigators, statement takers, torturers, and recorders of forced confessions. Would you agree?
xibaar gi ñu fi jot mooy ñi nga xam ne ñoo nekkoon ci panel boobu mooy ñi nga xam ne ñoo doon def mbiri gëstu yi ñi nga xam ne ñoo doon jël xibaar yi ci ñooñu di ko binda ak ñi nga xam ne ñoo doon def mitital yi ak ñi nga xam ne sax ñoo doon jël di ko nataal.
Rightly so.
waaw noonu la.
You agree that this was the arrangement?
nangu nga ne noonu lañ ko tëralee woon.
Positive.
waaw.
We have received evidence from Alaji Martin.
am na xibaar yuñ fi jot yu bàyyeekoo ci Alaji Martin.
To say that
mu ne.
The suspects were brought in.
ñi nga xam ne ñoom lañ tuumaal noonu dañ leen indi.
They are questioned.
ñu laaj leen.
If they do not answer satisfactorily,
fekkee ne tontuwuñ tontu bi nga xam ne moom lañ bugg a ñu tontu leen.
they are taken out.
dañ leen di génne.
The junglers would beat the truth out of them.
junglers yi dañ leen dóor pour ñu wax dëgg gi.
Or the confessions out of them.
wala boog ñu wax li nga xam ne moom lañ wax ne loolu lañ def.
They would be brought back before the panel.
ñu delloo si waat leen ci kanami kuréel googu.
They will confess.
bu ko defee ñu daal di wax.
And they would be later taken before the cameras of GRTS record their confessions on video.
bu ko defee nag ñu dal di leen jël nag yóbbu leen ci kanami caméra GRTS yi bu ko defee nag ñoom ñu wax li nga xam ne moom lañ wax ne moom lañ def.
Was that the system?
noonu la doon doxee.
It's true, I heard him testify here.
loolu la dégg naa ko bi muy ñëw fi di gaaral ay kàddoom.
And what is your view about what he said?
yow nag li mu wax noonu naka nga ko gisee.
Could Did you answer now?
It's true.
Is that the reason why in your statement you said that evidence was extorted out of these witnesses, or evidence was coerced out of these witnesses and not obtained?
ndax loolu mooy wane ne li nga xam ne mooy kàddu yi seede yooyu doon wax noonu dañ leen doon forcé dugal ko ci ñoom pour mun a am kàddu yi ci ñoom waaye nekkut ne rek kàddu yoo xam ne dañ ko jëlee noonu rek ci ñoom ñu joxe ko.
nekkut kàddu yoo xam ne ñoo ko waxal seen boppa jëlee ko seen coobare dañ leen ko forcé ba soxi ko ci ñoom dañ leen mbugal bañ wax loolu. Is that the reason why you said that in your statement?
Yes, that is the reason.
Mr. Chair, one last question before we adjourn for the day. Those who appeared before the commission were tortured to give the confessionary statements that they gave.
Yes.
ñi nga xam ne ñoo feeñ ci kanami commission bi dañ leen mitital pour ñu wax kàddu yi nga xam ne moom lañ joxe foofu.
Panel, they were tortured before they gave the confessionary statements they gave to the panel.
Kanami panel bi.
Yes.
Wow. Please proceed.
I have written in my statement that following the establishment of the panel and the bringing in of the detainees to question them, initially it used to be during the day, and seemingly everything went well during the day, during working hours. But after working hours, I would go home. Apparently, detainees were brought in late in the night by the junglers, some in civilian clothes, some in their uniform. I heard some of them were black. That's when I found out who they were. And they were maltreated and tortured in the premises of the NIA up to early morning hours and taken back to mile 2. I would only know when I came in the morning, and the security guards will tell me. The first 2-3 occasions, I was to give briefings to HE, His Excellency, and I told him, I said, I heard some detainees are being beaten. He giggled. He giggled. I just looked at him and said, or tell them to cooperate.
Were you being ordered to torture people to confess?
I didn't implement that order.
The question is, Mr. Sambou, were you at that stage being ordered to torture these detainees to confess?
The inference was that I didn't implement that order. I just went back to my office.
We would come to all that tomorrow. Thank you very much. Mr. Chair, that would be it for today.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Council. Mr. Sambou, you weren't when you didn't carry out that unlawful order to torture, where you tortured yourself.
Never.
We were told earlier on that when orders were given to torture, and those orders not carried out, the fear was there that they themselves, those who did not want to carry out the orders, would be tortured. Were you or were you never tortured?
I have never been touched.
You have never tortured anybody?
I have never tortured anybody and I have never been touched.
Fine. When we going to come back tomorrow, do you have any more samples in your bag of notations by Jammeh on memorandum sent to him? The one that you showed us is very, very scanty. You couldn't tell the context of what Yaya was replying to in a very angry way. We couldn't read even that writing. You were the one trying to explain that. Sorry, interpreter, I'm just going on. But if you have more examples, bring, if you can help us with that.
Bu fekkee ne ëllëg booy ñëw am nga yeneeni firnde yoo xam ne mel na ni biñ fi wane sànq mel ni Yaya Jammeh boo leen bindee dara ba indi ko ci moom ay kàddu yu ñàkk teggin yi nga xam ne moom la dee binda ci kaw kayit boobu am na boo ñu fi woon tey na waaye leerut loon yow sax yaa ñu ko mënoon a leeralal bu fekkee ne am nga beneen bu gën a leer bi su ëllëgee booy ñëw ndax muñ ko mën a indiwaale.
Please allow me to search through, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Our obligation is to create an impartial historical record. To take that memo that you gave us, and then all the things that you say, he's erratic, he's this, he's that, we need to be fair to him and see the context in which he was reacting, rather than reach a conclusion that this is coming from a madman or an erratic fellow.
waaw ñun nag fii amul benn parparloo boo xam ne daal moom lañ fee mun a doxal loolu moo tax bu fekkee ne war nañ koo tuumaal jikko ñàkk a teggin ak mbir yu mel noonu nga xam ne mu ngi ko doon def dafa war a fekk nag ñu am lu leer loo xam ne am nañ ko ci moom lu ko mooy nag dafa mel ni niñ ko war a jàppee moom jàppee wuñ ko noonu loolu moo tax ñu bëgg lu leer loo xam ne ci la ñoo sukkandiku.
Even the devil is entitled to fair treatment. Counsel, you have a point of order to raise.
Yes, I had asked the investigators to put together a collection of such minutes. So we would at some stage have to put them in through an investigator, because to call the heads of the various departments would be difficult. But we can put them in through an investigator, and we can do it as early as tomorrow if the chair is interested, just to so that whilst we are on this same topic, we could deal with it, and you can have a flavor of some of the minutes Yaya Jammeh would write to the staff in government.
That should be very helpful indeed. Thank you, Counsel. We will, witness, you have something to say before we close for the day?
I'm all right. I'm quite all right.
Thank you very much. Counsel, I hope you all have a restful evening. And the Counsel, again, thank you so much. I ask you to stay and then go on. It seems as if you can go on now until...
happy to go on. Thank you, Mr.
Chair. Meeting is adjourned. We'll meet tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock sharp. Thank you.
Gamtel G Fiber, now you can enjoy super fast internet in gigabytes. G Fiber is affordable, stable, secured, and accessible to homes, businesses, and enterprises. With Gamtel G Fiber, the future is speed. Gamtel, creating a brighter future in communication.
So she became mine and see the
For all your pastry, bakery, and quality food, CK Restaurant is the only place to be. We do catering for birthdays, weddings, and all related services. We have all kinds of local foods, American, European, and even beyond. Come and have a taste of our local juice, ebe, and other services. At CK Restaurant, customer satisfaction is our priority.
Love like fire. Wow. Love like fire. Xam ngeen rek affaire bi xam ngeen fan la? Skincare la. 2020 lañ wax de. Waaw. Fii nag mooy Kerr fan Kerr zero tache. Perfect skin. Skincare saa su ne rek niñ ko dee defee rek. Loo lañ soxlaati rek. Maanaam bu ngeen am problème ci seen skin yéen xam ngeen fan la fii ngeen di ñëw suma xarit yeeg am di jàmm yi nga xam ne taas daf lañ sonaloon xam nga doon xeesal bel laka xum éneew ma lañ ko nag waaye just in case comme ni ko gars yi defee rek en cas just in case loolu xew xam ngeen fi ngeen di ñëw Skincare Plus si yu baax rek la ñoo dox nag ay baax rek fu ne la ñoo dem ci réew mi di lañ indi rek nag products yu baax du Paris du Italie du USA du fi mu nekk nii sax boole nañ ci nag Sweden fu nekk lañ leen a indilee products bu dee tamit nag da nga ñuul rek ñu lay jamaa natural beauty that melanin dripping we do have stuff for you as well emuñ si skincare products rek ñu ngi ci cuub yi tamit fu ne la ñoo jaar in fact sax last commercial bi ñu defoon waxuñ leen woon ne dañoo dox ci ay kawar 9A grade rek nag waaw we do have bundles as well hair si lu ne la ñoo dox ñun ñu ngi ci rafetal jigéen rek luy taaral jigéen rek waaw boo leen di tukki tamit bëggoon rek classic suitcase ñu dañoo dox ci ay Samsonite duñ dee indi any brand of suitcases though other than Samsonite comme li ma dee wax rek boo eggee airport diri Samsonite dafa am nuñ laa xoolee waaw ngeen ne lan nag waaw skin ci moom la ñu gën a xamee nag skincare products ci moom la ñu gën a xamee ñu ngi dox tamit benn tey tamit si ay dàll man waaye man nag skincare mooy suma specialty xam nga rek jigéen bu sa xar kanam réglé loo def mu jag am nañ Patricia Reiner, Kiwi Eye, the whole range, Lighten Up Gold, Tomatine. I mean, the list can just go on and on and on and on. Lépp loo xam ne rek luy taaral jigéen la ci yooyu rek la ñoo dox. Skincare Plus nag emuñ si Gambia rek ñu ngi United States ñu ngi Gambia fii ba pare bu dee yaa ngi anywhere in Europe mun nañ la ko mail within 3 days rek ñetti fan rek nga jot say diw emuñ si loolu rek dañ laa consult tamit balaa ñu laa jaay diw dinañ def a free consultation pour wax la rek exactly li nga xam ne moo méngoo ak sa kanam dinañ leen wax tamit ne rek am nañ perfumes, you know, fragrances, men's shirts, accessories. We do dresses as well. We do blouses. I mean, we do shoes. Name it, we do them. Skincare Plus 2020 is our year of perfection. Zero task. Fi mu nekk nii réew mi fii kenn waratu fi task kenn waratu fi am problème kanam kenn waratu fi am problème picture boo ko amee dafa fekk ne rek ñëwuloo ci place bi fii.
When we touch down, better rock.